What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us here on a Friday as we are back live. It's almost back to being time to hit the live shows each and every day as the season is rapidly approaching here for training camp and all that good stuff. So we will be diving in. What's up, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights? As always, my friends, make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that follow button, wherever. We did attempt to go live on TikTok, so I'm going to wait for my son to let me know if that actually happened. But we should be able to stream live from both YouTube and TikTok now. So once we get that figured out, hopefully that'll happen. Is it live? Well, wait, it's not saying for me. Okay. Well, you can try to find it. Well, if you can find it. If not, on TikTok, we'll try to get that worked out to be live as always. So that's what we're going to try to do to have both platforms be able to stream from both of those. And then we'll work on Facebook next to be able to stream from there. And I know hopefully we'll have multiple destinations for viewers to be able to tune in, comment, and dive into the live show each and every day with us as the season approaches and we really get things kicked off and started. The big news that everybody knows, and yeah, I could have went live last night and jumped on it right when it happened, but I had youth football practice. But anyway, hey, you probably had enough people going live last night, uh, going and talking about TJ Watt. But we'll talk about that new money and what it means for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward financially, what it means for the defense, and what his sheer presence just means to that franchise and organization as a whole. When you have a guy like him, a guy that should be a one hat type player, and we'll take your comments on what you guys feel about the extension of TJ Watt, making him the richest non quarterback in the National Football League yet again. For the second time in his career. So that's pretty damn cool for Watt to break that record now twice in his career. And getting that money, man, we talked about it here on the show. I told you it was going to be 41, 42 million. That's exactly what it was going to be. It was very obvious that that was going to be. That wasn't like I was breaking earth-shattering news by predicting that. It was literally the obvious. It was going to be 41, 42 million dollars if the Steelers signed him. They were going to make him the richest pet player, no matter what. That's what they were going to do. Non-quarterback player, and the biggest contract. And in my eyes, I feel that he's more valuable than a Myles Garrett. Jamar Chase, he broke the bank, beating Myles Garrett with, I think, 40.5 million dollars. And then you look at TJ's $41 million per season, averaging out to be $123 million over 3 seasons. Uh, big money, no doubt about it. And it's a lot of money. And the Steelers, have been accused for a long time of not paying people. But, they've made TJ Watt the richest non quarterback twice now in TJ Watt's career. So to say that they don't pay anybody at all is kind of ridiculous. To say that they're super cheap is kind of ridiculous in my eyes because they have to spend a certain amount of money anyway. And they've made the same player the richest player twice, especially at their position. So you look at TJ Watt's salary at $41 million per season. A lot of people are going to say, too much, man. Too much for a guy that's in his 30s. Well, TJ Watt is, again, only 30 years old, going to be 31. Not that old. A guy that still has a ton of gas in the tank. And I think the major question for a lot of fans is he going to be able to maintain dominance? After last season, he led the league in forced fumbles with, I believe, 6. Yes, he only had 11 and a half sacks. Yeah, and he was neutralized there in those last 5 games of the season, but so was the whole damn defense. There wasn't many bright spots on that defense at all. And I know when you're paying a guy $40 million plus a year, you want him to be a game changer. You want him to show up, regardless if anybody else is showing up. You want that player to show up. But TJ Watt, I believe, is still going to be one of the league's best, still going to be probably the best defender on the planet because I just believe TJ Watt still has that left in him. So we'll continue to watch that. We'll continue to see how this all unfolds and how he plays out with this contract. But the Steelers, I think, did the right thing. They did the necessary thing here. And I think it was ultra important for them to get this done because they've loaded up really for the 2025 season. You have Aaron Rodgers at the helm, a guy that I don't think is done just yet. I know a lot of people want to say that he is. He is old. And I never like getting older at a position, but we saw what he could do at the back half of last season with an absolute shit franchise, a horrible franchise. He was able to put up decent numbers that the Steelers haven't had from a quarterback in a very long time since Ben Roethlisberger. So, I really believe TJ Watt and his signing was ultra important to the Steelers and was going to be something that they needed to do. When you look at everything they've done this offseason, that was the piece that needed to be there, the leader of the defense, the guy that can make potentially the biggest impacts at any moment. And that's the big thing. TJ Watt can make impacts in the pass game, make impacts in the run game. We've seen him intercept guys like Joe Burrow at the line of scrimmage over and over again. We've seen the sacks. We've seen the forced fumbles that he led the league last year in those. We've seen so much from TJ Watt, and he can provide so many different types of splash plays inside of that defense that it's absolutely amazing to watch at times for TJ Watt. And it's absolutely amazing to know that TJ Watt can still do those things at a very high level, and that the Steelers definitely are the benefactors when he's out there. And when he's not out there, his presence is definitely missed. And the Steelers are a vastly different team without TJ Watt. And that's just how it's been over the years. He's not missed a ton of time. I don't know exactly, I can't remember exactly how many games off the top of my head that he's missed throughout his career. But people that want to talk about saying that he's like unavailable, I just think you're off base. Yeah, he's so good that when he's not there, it means so much that it causes such chaos for the defense. I get that. I understand that. But he's really not absent that much, and he's way healthier than a lot of people. And yeah, when he's missing, it's exemplified a million times. The spotlight's on it a million times. So you're going to notice that naturally as a fan more and more and more. I get that. But TJ Watt definitely doesn't miss a ton of time. He's definitely available. He definitely is an impact player. And if anybody else in the league has 11 and a half sacks and 6 forced fumbles, we're sitting here celebrating that from last year. When TJ Watt does it, we're all saying that it was a down year. Does he still have it? We're questioning him. And that's, yeah, kind of unfair because 90% of the time he's superhuman and does things nobody else can do. So when he has a good year and we want to sit there and we're going to bash it, and it is what it is. But TJ Watt, if Myles Garrett puts up 11 and a half sacks and 6 forced fumbles, the Browns probably pay him $55 million next year. Just saying. The guy is a continual leader everywhere in terms of statistical categories. He shows up, for his team. I remember that playoff game with Big Ben Roethlisberger. He scored the first touchdown, I believe, in that game. So he's done things inside of the playoffs. Yeah, he missed the Buffalo Bills playoff game, but the Steelers haven't given him many opportunities inside of the playoffs. We want to talk about the Steelers haven't won a game with TJ Watt inside of the playoffs. They haven't had a ton of opportunity to win games. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016, guys. They haven't been in a Super Bowl, I believe, since 2010. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 2008. Is that TJ Watt's fault necessarily? No. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. But I know this for sure. If TJ Watt is missing, I can tell the difference with a Pittsburgh Steelers team, whether or not TJ Watt is out there or not. And I think that that's huge. Yes, you guys make sure you're putting in the comments section your comments, questions, and concerns. I'm going to move myself up here just a little bit. Okay, let's get back to the comments. That way, sorry guys, I just wanted to make sure that you can see my face when I bring up comments. But Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, good to see you, man. Make sure you check out Daniel's channel. And again, happy Friday to Daniel. Jeff Mars or Mraz. Sorry, Jeff, if I'm mispronouncing your last name, man. Glad for signing him to a shorter extension, but it does show the rest of the NFL that the Steelers do show loyalty to their players. Absolutely. I believe the Steelers are probably one of the most loyal franchises in the entire NFL, if not the most loyal franchise inside of the NFL. I believe the Steelers are definitely a franchise that says to themselves, I'd rather keep a guy around through his ups and downs and be loyal to them and have stability than constantly be going out there and bringing in different players each and every year. I think the Steelers definitely don't like to do that all the time and have constant turnover at every single position every single year. I think it's definitely something the Steelers don't like to do. Sorry, guys, I'm going to move one more thing on the screen. There we go. All right. Mark Malone in the house. What's up, Mark? The offense wouldn't even give him a reach around and move the chains a few times. Absolutely. Last year. And Mark's exactly right. And that's what we talk about all the time. The offense, 9 times out of 10, didn't do shit. The defense would cause, we're talking 3, 4 turnovers in a game, and they don't get no backing from an offensive unit. The most offense the Steelers have put up has been under Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson wasn't that great. Russell Wilson fell apart at the end of last year, but I don't think it was solely Russell Wilson's fault either. I think that there's a lot of contributing factors, and I know as fans, myself included at times, we want to think of one thing and nail it down and say that's the end all be all. That's the issue. That's the problem. We fix that. We fix it. They're a Super Bowl contender. That couldn't be further from the truth. Football has so many moving parts, man. And if one thing is off, it can cause disruption and waves throughout the whole team. And that's the truth. We know that. But we do know this: TJ Watt not being on that field is a big difference for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just 1000% the truth. We see the difference. Now, I do believe the Steelers have done this though. If you look at that defense through and through, yes, they pay their superstar, their Superman, TJ Watt, $41 million. Great. Love it. I love it. I think it's a good deal. For 3 years, they got the Superman for 3 years. They're going to get that good play, hopefully. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully everything works out. That's the chance you take with every contract. But if you look at the Steelers as a whole defensively, they've added a ton of players, in my opinion, in terms of through the draft, through free agency. They've made trades. They've made acquisitions that make sense. They've made the defense better. And I think it's definitely a better unit than it was last year. And if you were going to be missing TJ Watt because you didn't want to pay him the money I believe he's earned, I think that would have been foolish. And I think it would have been a waste of resources considering what you did to build around that defense. TJ Watt's like your franchise quarterback, but on the defensive side of the football. You build around a guy like that. You add depth everywhere around him. You add superstars everywhere around him. And that just naturally makes him better. And that's what you need to do. It's like any other position grouping or unit on the football field. That's how you build around it. And TJ Watt's your cornerstone. You build around guys like him, Cameron Hayward. Those are the guys you build this thing around, and they've done that. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Deshaun Elliott getting an extension, Joey Porter Jr. going into another year as a Pittsburgh Steeler. They look at the acquisitions of Patrick Queen. You look at what they did up front. Another year with Keanu Benton, and now we have Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black. You added Jack Sawyer. You get a healthy Cole Holcomb. You have an addition last year through the draft and a Peyton Wilson. You look at this defense top to bottom, and yes, they spend an exuberant amount of money at times on defense, and it is what it is. I don't give a shit where you spend it, just win. I don't care. But you look at that defense and you say to yourself, it could be really, really damn good on paper, even with the subtraction of Minka Fitzpatrick. I hate to say this, but you traded off a guy that had one forced fumble and one interception over 2 years. That's okay with me. I'm okay with it. I'm not willing to pay a guy $18 million that had that. But I am willing to pay a guy when we're sitting here talking about him having a horrible year last year when he had 11 and a half sacks and 6 forced fumbles. I'm willing to pay that guy that money because if that's the worst he does, I'm okay with that shit, bro. I'm okay with that shit. I'm actually thrilled with that shit if that's the worst thing he does. Robert Road in a house. Let's bring home Lombardi. This team is loaded for a Super Bowl run. It is on that O line. Congrats to TJ. I agree with Robert. I think a lot hinges on the offensive line's success and development this season. I think a lot of it does. I think a lot of our hopes and dreams for the possibility of just a sheer simple playoff win hinder and hang on that offensive line. No doubt about it. I think their play is going to be the key and the catalyst to this football team being successful. But I also say it's not the only thing that's going to be the real reason. I think that the defensive front also is going to be a key catalyst to this. And the Steelers have focused a lot of attention on the trenches. Yes, they still lack a little bit of depth across that offensive line. I get that. But they've invested heavily in it, and they've invested heavily in the defensive side of the football in terms of the trenches. So they have, again, 13 players vying for spot in that defensive front rotation. And that is a really, really good problem to have, especially also. You may have guys that don't fit into your rotation for the Steelers, but finding really, really good guys and good players that are along that defensive front aren't, they're not growing on trees everywhere. So if the Steelers are lucky enough to have a couple extra guys that could play down in, down out in the National Football League. Maybe they use those guys to bring in even more draft capital for 2026. Maybe they use those to add yet another piece before the trade deadline, perhaps, or add another piece before the start of the season. I think that they did that purposefully to be able to use them as chess pieces and negotiating tools, especially if a couple of them do really, really well in the preseason and show that they definitely can be down in, down out type players in National Football League. Good to see you also, Danny George. What's up, my friend? Yeah, guys, I apologize. It's the dead period right now. The TJ Watt news is basically really the only news that's really been blowing up as of late for the Steelers, but also youth football has started back for me, and I coach every day. Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday through Thursday, Mondays and Fridays off. So I definitely will try my hardest each and every time to make sure that I go live. But now that the season's starting, we will get back to a definitive time each and every day. So also make sure we should be live streaming also right now on TikTok. So you can watch us there. Hopefully it worked, but we are able to live stream. They did give us that ability now. So definitely check us out on YouTube and TikTok. We did get a new member. Thank you to my Floyd is Pink 79. Appreciate you, my friend. Robert Road in the house. The biggest upgrade to the defense may very well be Harmon. Ramsey and Slay are big as well, but Harmon is a massive upgrade from Lario. I got to agree. And if Derek Harmon works out, like Robert says, I think it will be a good addition. I think it might be one of the most significant additions throughout the 2025 offseason. And you look at Derek Harmon's ability to push the pocket, rush the passer, have that tremendous pass rush rate that was so highly touted coming out of college. Everybody loved that about him. That was my biggest thing for him, was that pass rush rate that he led collegiate football in last season with the Oregon Ducks. So I loved that about Derek Harmon, and I think that that has been a missing piece in the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, is the ability to push that pocket up the middle and collapse it back into a quarterback's lap, forcing them right or left. Because who does that force them to, guys? It forces them to TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. So I believe adding guys that are excellent in terms of what they're able to do in terms of rushing the passer, collapsing the pocket. They don't even have to hit home and get sacks. I don't care about their sack numbers. I care about their ability to push that pocket back. And that forces it into the hands of the Steelers' best two assets, and that is TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. Not to mention maybe a guy like Nick Herbig succeeds in that situation, Jack Sawyer in that rotation with those guys. But I really think it tremendously helps and affects those guys on the edges. And it also helps the secondary. Why does it help the secondary? Because it forces quarterbacks to get on the move. A lot of quarterbacks, they ain't the greatest throwers on the run. More and more nowadays they can. But 9 times out of 10, when you're throwing on the run, you're far less accurate than what you are when you're stationary inside of the pocket. So that's a definite help. And also, it forces quarterbacks to make decisions more quickly. So if you are in the pocket and that pocket is coming back onto your lap, you are forced to make a choice and you're forced to make it right now. And I think that that causes mistakes, causes potential for turnover, and I definitely think it could be a real beneficial thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think that that is what the defense has been missing. Cam Hayward's been lights out. He bats balls, he makes tackles, he gets sacks here and there. He does some special things, man. He forces fumbles. Cam Hayward had a really great year in 2024, in my opinion. But Cam Hayward isn't consistently pushing that pocket into the quarterback's lap. Keanu Benton isn't consistently doing that. And I think when you add guys like Wyatt Black that are a bigger presence, guys like Derek Harmon, I think you start to make and create combinations inside of the trenches that definitely are going to be super beneficial to help the Steelers out in that category. Happy Friday to you too, my Florida's Pink 79. Thank you again for becoming a member. We appreciate that, man. Armand Perrone in the house. I was watching Wyoming Cowboy analysis, and there you are popping up again. 108 index. How are you, Jason? Good, man. We are back. We're back to a live stream. We haven't been doing it that much, but we'll get back on the grind here as the training camp starts. I will get some information from training camp because I'll be up there. I'm going to take my kids. I let them do their autograph thing, and I do my walking around, watching practice, paying attention to things that I think are important. Positionally, in my eyes, that I feel like make big differences for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I watch simple drills that they're doing off to the side with quarterbacks, etc. So I do pay attention to a lot of those things. So we'll see how that all works out for the Steelers as training camp gets started. Robert Road, if a quarterback can't step up in the pocket, they are a fraction of what they can be. I am so effing pumped for the Steelers football. Absolutely, and that is the biggest thing. If a quarterback cannot climb the ladder in the pocket, that's what we call it when you're playing quarterback position and you climb the ladder in the pocket, moving up into the pocket to deliver the football. If you don't have that avenue to deliver the football and you're forced right to left and you're forced to be more of a horizontal movement, as opposed to that vertical movement, I think it definitely limits you on what you're able to do. There's very few quarterbacks that can throw back across their body on the run. There's very few quarterbacks that are comfortable going to their weak side when they move, and it creates some difficulties in terms of their passing abilities. So that's why I say it's just naturally better to get them and force them out of the pocket and get them on the run. There are very few Big Ben Roethlisbergers, guys that can get out of the pocket and scramble drill like nobody else and make those big throws and set themselves up and throw down the football field. Because not only do you have to be a good athlete to do it, not only do you have to have a super strong arm to do it, but you have to have the ability to be just a super strong human being to where you can shake tackles off, where you're willing to take some hits. Because guess what, folks? When you're out there on the edges and you're scrambling around as a quarterback, you're not protected anymore by your posse, by your gang, by the big boys up front. They're not there to save your ass no more. You're wide open to getting hit. And if you're not willing to take those hits, you're not willing to be able to shrug some of those hits off and be really, really strong and stand tall and set your feet and deliver the football, you're not going to be successful doing so. I'm all about getting quarterbacks on the move. I think getting them on the move is awesome. I love it as a layer to my offense. If I'm creating an offense, I want to get them out there occasionally on the move. But if I'm a offensive coordinator and I'm creating an offense, I'm teaching my quarterbacks to throw from the pocket 9 times out of 10. Yes, a layer of your offense should be getting them out there on the move. But where am I most comfortable with my quarterbacks is inside of the pocket. Why? Because they are protected, typically, hopefully. They are protected, and they learn to be a real efficient passer, learning to get through their progressions, learning to make the right throws and the right decisions at a quick rate. So that's what I'm hoping for. And I think it's going to be really super beneficial if the Steelers are able to get that increased production from the big men up front of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. All right, guys, make sure you are tuning in to us live here on YouTube and hopefully on TikTok. If it didn't go live, we'll try to figure that out. I did set it as a destination, but we are able to live stream from TikTok now. Maybe I'll have to do those separately. I don't know. But this program that I use, I should be able to stream to multiple destinations. So make sure you check us out. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Facebook, TikTok, X, and subscribe on YouTube if you're not already. We truly appreciate you guys. And definitely thank you. Hitting the like button, hitting the share button. And as football season kicks off, we are going to be grinding and back to doing those live streams every single day. And I know you guys enjoy the conversations, and I enjoy them with you. Also, super chats are always wide open. Memberships are always wide open. Those are ways to support the channel, but you don't have to do it with a monetary donation. You can just simply hit that like button, and that is very appreciated by me. And I definitely appreciate that more than anything. 73 degrees here at 8,400 feet in Colorado. Man, you guys got a tropical heat wave. Harmon says D line will be way better. I hope so. I think that's very important, and it's been a big focus, I think, from the Pittsburgh Steelers and Omar Khan. One that hasn't been talked about enough by the media. The media doesn't want to give Omar Khan enough credit. I think he's built a juggernaut of a football team for 2025. Robert Rowe, the Giants beat Brady in the Super Bowl twice because their D line was right in his lap and they didn't need to blitz to do that. Absolutely. And here's another really interesting thing. You say that they didn't need the blitz to do that. Absolutely. Love that. And I think that's what the Steelers are going to be able to do here in 2025, which is going to be tremendously awesome. But they possess talented athletes all over that defense that can provide an exotic blitz location at any single time and bring pressure from all different areas, not just that base pressure that you're going to get from your base defense that you're bringing out there, whatever it may be. Yeah, well, I know they are in sub-package football all the time. I'm just talking what they call defensively. Not only are you going to get that without the blitz, hopefully, in theory, at least on paper, but maybe you can start to be exotic and bring back that Blitzburg type attitude and bring a corner, bring a slot corner, bring a linebacker, bring a safety, and blitz from different exotic locations, causing even more disruption. And once you're able to force the quarterback to be more horizontal in his movements and not allow him to be comfortable inside of the pocket, that does create opportunities for those blitzes. Do you remember the Mike Hilton days to where he'd come out of the slot and blitz and tackle a guy, in the backfield, tackle a quarterback for a sack? I think you can get a lot of those opportunities, especially if you have guys that are good read and react type players, guys that understand shit, they're on the move. And soon as they start to see them on the move, they come downhill and they make that tackle. They block that pass. They get in the face of that quarterback that's on the move. I think that's going to be something you see a lot of during Pittsburgh Steeler games here this season here in 2025, and I think it's something that a lot of people overlook. Also, they don't break down the nuts and bolts of this. Everybody want to say the Steelers are just going to be horrible. They have an old man at quarterback. They signed TJ Watt. They overpaid him. They got rid of Minka. They got rid of GP. They did this or that. I think if you look at this team as an overall whole, I don't think that there are many holes, to be real with you. I really, really don't. I think the Steelers have truly geared up for a run. I really do. I think that they truly geared up to give Aaron Rodgers a real chance to really end his career in a really magical way. I truly believe that. Whether they win a playoff game or make it to the Super Bowl, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But if I'm Mike Tomlin and I'm Omar Khan and I'm the organization, hell, if I'm the fan base, which I'm part of it, I believe that you should be really, really hyped about this team because the opportunity is there. And I don't think the opportunity for the Steelers to be competitive inside of the playoffs has been there for over a decade. Whether they've made the playoffs or not, I never really had high hopes for them to be successful in the playoffs because I didn't think they had the team. A lot of the times they had an aging quarterback with Big Ben Roethlisberger that was in the twilight of his career. Yeah, he was still able to do some things special, but he still wasn't Ben. He wasn't Big Ben anymore. He was more get the ball out in fucking half a second type Ben. And when was Ben ultra successful? It was when he could lean on the run game, utilize the play action pass and the scramble drill, throw the football 20, 22 times a game, somewhere in that category, anywhere from 20 to 25. That's when he was ultra successful. Ben wasn't ultra successful in winning championships when he was throwing it 35, 40 times a game, 50 times a game. That's not when Ben was at his best. The best of Ben was good defense, solid run game, play action pass, and utilize those scramble drill type throws to bail him out of tight situations on third and long, second and long. That's when Ben was at his best. And if I look at this Steelers team this year, I think they're going to be able to utilize the run game in a big, big way. I think it's going to be tremendously better. I think they're going to be able to really lean on that defense like they have. I think they have tremendous special teams. What worries me the most is the coaching. What worries me the most is Mike Tomlin's stubbornness, his bullheadedness to not change, his unwillingness to adapt, his inability to get out of this ultra conservative mode of football that he wants to play. And I'm all about beat your ass with the run, play action pass. I love it. I get it. But you can't be ultra conservative all the time. You can't be afraid to do certain things. You can't have gross mismanagement of the clock situationally. You can't make the wrong calls in terms of challenges. You have to really be fundamentally sound as a coach. And I believe Mike Tomlin's a good coach, but I don't think that he's been a great coach in terms of his in-game situational management. I just don't. I think he leans on some of the players sometimes a little bit too much. It was the Najee Harris show, but Najee Harris wasn't doing that much for you. I mean, yeah, he did it. He got it done. I liked him as a player, but was he a guy that I just want to give the ball to 50 fucking times a game? No. Spread that bitch around. Pass it over the fucking middle. Use Pat Fryermuth. Do something. Do something. Don't just stand there with a dumb look on your face like you're puzzled. The answer's right there. You have the players to do it, but you refuse to do it. Maybe not this year. Maybe it's different. Maybe this year he allows Arthur Smith to do it. Call his own shit, not interfere. Maybe he allows Terrell Austin to call his own shit and not interfere because I'm sick of Mike Tomlin's defense. I'm ready to see Terrell Austin's. Jones and Troy are the whole show. Rodgers will do well if not injured badly. We hope so, man. Let's pray for their health, man. Rubber Road, I remember Vince Williams having 8 sacks as an inside linebacker. Wilson and Queen are faster and are capable blitzers. Ramsey is a good blitzer as well. Absolutely. I think it could definitely be beneficial. Harmon, middle 90s D and Blitzburg with LeBeau were fun to watch. Need a real defensive coordinator. Yeah, they have one. I think Terrell Austin can be successful. I think what is the biggest issue is them not allowing him to call anything. Everything is Mike's. That defense is Mike's. That's not Terrell's defense. We know that, guys. What's up, Jamal McCollum in the house? Good to see you, man. All right, guys, make sure you are commenting. Make sure you are liking, sharing the show, all that good stuff here on our live stream, man, here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason, as always, when we go live here on the channel. Don't forget to like and follow us on all major social media platforms. You can simply find us at Mike Drop Sports at all of them, man. Just type in Mike Drop Sports when you search for accounts, and boom, there we will be. Let's go to Malachi Smith. What's up, Malachi in the house? How you been, Jason? Big news with TJ. I had a feeling he was getting big, paid big. Team's looking solid. Lots of positivity, man. Yeah, definitely like it too, man. And good comment. Good to see you, Malachi. Again, guys, we haven't been live streaming. Back to football grind. I coach football, so yeah, it sucks. I'm not home every day at 6 anymore to do the live show. But we'll get there, man. We'll get there. I got a coffee coming, man. My wife's about to bring it. I just think I just heard her coming through the door downstairs, so I'm down. Yeah, I just heard the garage door, baby. Let's do it. But anyway, I think this team definitely has a lot of positive things that you can look at if you're a fan, definitely. I think it has a lot of things that you could be excited about, a lot of things that definitely could lead to some success for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Robert Rhodes says Kirkland and Brown were awesome in the middle. Yeah, man. Big Levon Kirkland, when I was growing up watching the Steelers, was one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player besides Greg Lloyd. Greg Lloyd, Levon Kirkland were my two favorite defensive players, that I remember from that era. Of football, I loved them two dudes. Those were my favorites. And then when I look back offensively. I love the Yancey Thigpens, the Louis Lips. I love the Barry Fosters. I loved the big mean Eric Greens. I love the Dermonti Dawsons. There was a lot to cheer about for the Steelers back in those days in terms of the team and what they had available to them. Yeah, I could use a drink. Definitely. Definitely could use a drink. I forgot to bring one up. I usually bring a water at least, but I did not bring one today. And I'm like, shit. And then it's been a little chilly here today. It's like in the 70s today, and we've been having heat waves, man. The sun's not been out today. And I was like, oh, I'm going to shut the fan off here in the room. And that definitely didn't work out too well for me because it's like, and I have a long sleeve on. I was like, what am I doing? I can't make it work. All right, guys, make sure you put your comments, questions, and concerns here inside of the live chat. We will be going live again probably tomorrow as we are rapidly approaching the start of Pittsburgh Steelers training camp in St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, up there in big Westmoreland County, PA. So we're going to do that. Hold on, guys. Thank you. All right. Coffee delivery, my friends. Ooh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Needed that. Needed that. But anyway, we'll get back to the comments here. Harmon makes a comment. Best age 9 to 13 football team, 67 wins in a row. McKeesport, Little Tigers, 67 wins in a row. Drew 5,000 people. I raised the bar for your team. Damn, that's awesome, Harmon. That would be awesome, man. That's good shit, bro. Congrats to those kids back then, man. That's amazing. Yeah, no doubt. I've been looking at the big picture for my kids that I've been coaching throughout the years. Again, we just all moved up a division. So, it'll be a little bit of a learning year, a little bit of a learning curve for a lot of the kids. But I'm excited. And I've been meaning, I want to do a lot of content on it. And I think I'm going to. It's just I want to make sure that I can do something really, really cool. Um, I do have all the equipment, like the mics and stuff and all that to do it and go out there and film like real shit. Um, I want to do like little interviews. Maybe I should start with like a little documentary or something about it. I don't know. I'm going to do something cool. I just got to figure it out. Jamal McCollum, be honest with me. If GP was here, would we be considered Super Bowl contenders? Um, Maybe. I think they could be considered that now. I really do, minus GP and Minka Fitzpatrick. And I'm not just making that up. I'm not being a homer. I shoot you guys straight. When I look at this team, I'm excited. Last year, I would have never told you that I thought that they would be Super Bowl contenders. At least I don't believe I ever said it. And if I did, I was dead wrong. But I didn't have that feeling last year. Did I think that they could win a playoff game? Yes, I said it. I predicted that they'd win one playoff game. And they were on a roll, but they fell apart in typical Steeler fashion. And they came unwound, man. And it is what it is. But I thought they would win one playoff game last year. That they did not. They were on a roll. They had 10 wins and just totally derailed, but that is what it is. But when I look at this football team this year, I really have to honestly say I think that there is real potential for something definitely bigger to happen for the Steelers than just one playoff win. I'm not saying they win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But even with the absence of GP, I could see them being in the Super Bowl. I could see them beating any team in the NFL right now, how they're currently constructed. And I say that why? Because I think the defense is vastly better. I really, truly believe that in my eyes, Jamal. I believe the defense is definitely, for some of the reasons that we just listed. I don't know exactly when you jumped in, but that defensive front is going to play a tremendous role and be a real X factor in this team's success moving forward. You look at that defensive front, and I definitely think that this defense as a whole is going to be a benefactor of their play. And I think the tremendous potential there, the tremendous depth that they could have available to them there at that those positions, I believe, is unmatched anywhere in this league. Maybe by a couple teams. Maybe if you look at teams like the Eagles and shit, they understand the assignment. They understand where you got to be good to be winners. But you look at the Steelers team, and is there teams in the AFC that maybe better superstar wise. Maybe they got a superstar quarterback. Yeah, you got your Joe Burrows. You got uh, Lamar Jackson, that I really truly just don't believe is anything more than a regular season quarterback. Um, you got your Patrick Mahomes, who's the Super Bowl winner year in and year out. And with Patrick on the field, yes, he can win at any time. But when I look at the Steelers, I think they can match up against any of those guys. I think they can outduel any of those guys. And honestly, yeah, if I'm going up against Lamar Jackson, let's just say Aaron Rodgers versus Lamar Jackson in the AFC Championship game, that can happen. We've seen Steelers Ravens before in the AFC Championship game. But if I'm watching that game and I'm going to predict a winner, and they're really, really close, evenly matched teams in terms of their talent, and we're going into that game and it's coming down to the final 2 minutes. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers, not because I think he's better than Lamar Jackson at this stage of his career, but I think he has the knowledge, the experience that would give him the leg up. Man, hey, he understands. He's not going to panic. There is not going to be anything that's going to be thrown around in desperation. He's going to be able to understand how to get it done, and he's been there, done that, got the T-shirt. He's a Super Bowl MVP, and I think I would have high confidence in him being able to outduel some of those guys just because of his experience. And some of those teams, the quarterback's lack of success playoff wise. Now, Aaron's had his lack of success in the playoffs too. We've seen the Packers make it to the NFC Championship game a shit ton of times and fall short. Many, many times. Rubber Road, the defense and the offense are better. I believe too. I believe both are better. I believe the special teams is just good because of Chris Boswell. Armand, I'm thinking 12 wins. First time in 8 to 9 years, and Steelers have a shot 35% to get to the Super Bowl. And I'm not a homer. And that's from Armand. I'm going to say this. I'll give you guys, since Armand threw that out there, he said 12 wins. I'm going to give you my Steelers prediction way too early. And this is my pre-training camp Pittsburgh Steelers prediction for the 2025 season. I will reevaluate this after I see what they do inside of training camp once I'm there live, once I'm seeing some preseason matchups. But here I'm going to give you my prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers on what they could be able to potentially do in 2025. And I believe that is a 13 win season. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers can achieve 13 wins. I believe that they could be 13-4. I definitely see that as something that's a real possibility. I believe that they can win the division. I believe truly that they can do that. And right now, right here on Mike Drop Sports, I predict the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not going to give you my playoff predictions because they are very hard nailed down. But I'm going to give you my regular season prediction, my far too early regular season prediction. And I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers to achieve that 13-4 record. And make a definite division winner, division champ. I believe they win the division this year in Aaron Rodgers' final year. Shit. Man, bold prediction. I might regret that one, but I think I'm on to something. All right, guys, comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat. They are greatly appreciated. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Sorry I got this goofy thing on my wrist, but I jammed it up somehow. I don't know what the hell I did, man. But it just sucks. It hurts like hell. So I put that ace wrap on there. What's up, man? What's up, Cap 10 in a hizzy? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you guys, though. Definitely, man. Appreciate you guys for joining me here on the live show. Definitely appreciate you because we haven't been going live a ton, and that's just because this has been the dead period. So we appreciate you joining back onto the live show as we've only went live like once or twice each week. So Robert Rowe, the 49ers have been the Rodgers-led Packers roadblock like Brady was for Big Ben and the Steelers. Yeah, they've taken some tough losses, Robert. I agree, man. And Aaron Rodgers knows what it's like to lose. He knows what it's like to win. He knows what it's like to kiss that sticky Lombardi. Sadly, it was against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still don't believe he wins that game if Marquise Pouncey plays, and I don't believe he wins that game if Rashard Mendenhall doesn't fumble. I believe those two factors in that game caused the Steelers to lose. I don't think they were able to overcome those two situations, but I genuinely believe that it was two evenly matched teams in that Super Bowl. Cap 10 says, how much are we fearing the Ravens defense this year? I think they'll be good. I just don't see the Steelers being inferior to anybody inside of the division. I think you have good units on both teams that are worrisome inside of the division, the Bengals and Ravens. I think you have good units. But if I look at them overall as whole teams, I think the Ravens would be a team that I would have to be the most worried about because they're the most complete team out of the two. I think the Browns just will bumble fuck it away no matter what, just because they're the Browns. I don't see them doing anything good. But you have to worry about the Bengals because they have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is that guy, and that's not going anywhere. You know, Joe Burrow is a guy that can definitely just do it all. TJ Watt's been able to be successful against him. Minka was successful against Joe. But overall, Joe Burrow is that guy, and you always have to respect that. And as long as he's healthy and in the ball game, the Bengals have a tremendous opportunity to be successful. So I think you have to worry about those two teams. But as far as the Ravens, I'm not like worried about them because I think the Steelers stack up well against any team in the division. I don't think there's any team that I would go into a game this season, at least early, before anything's played. I would not say, like, oh, a guaranteed loss. They're going to beat them, or they're going to lose to the Bengals, or they're going to lose to the Ravens, or they're going to lose to the Browns. I don't think there's any of those that or anything like that I would say right now. I just don't see it. And again, guys, we're talking all hypothetical stuff because we're talking about on paper. And that's why the Cleveland Browns are usually crowned early in the offseason. Why? Because they get tremendous amounts of high draft picks and things like that. And they always are paper champions. They always win the offseason. Well, when you get the pick first all the fucking time, yeah, it's easy to win the offseason. I mean, come on. But, paper championships aren't nothing. And the Steelers still have to be able to come out and prove it. Now, do I have hope in them? Yes, but we got to see what gets put out there in training camp. Mike Tomlin runs a tough camp. That's one thing about Mike Tomlin. He runs a tough camp, as tough as he can run it with the NFL rules that are in place with the NFL Players Association. There's a tremendous amount of rules now that, limit time during an ability to be able to practice. You're only going to have certain amounts of time that you can get out on the field. It's not like back in the day for 2 days and things of that nature. You're not allowed to be, so crazy with the players' time. But I think overall, the Steelers definitely run a very tight camp. They have one of the rare destination training camps in the NFL that, are still going, and a beautiful tradition in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Definitely believe the Steelers have one of those magical training camps that are exciting to go to and draw a lot of fanfare. And they run a tight ship up there. So you get a lot of insight onto possibly what you're going to be able to see. Now, you'll have a ton of media people that are digging for stories that will write anything just so they have something to talk about. Um, that will call out some players and say they look magical and exciting in shorts and a helmet. You won't get that here. You won't get that here. I don't do that. Nobody impresses me in shorts and a helmet. Yeah, you may impress me with your conditioning, your athleticism, but I'm not going to sit there and say, oh my God, they're in shorts and a helmet. And this is the shit people will report. It was 3rd and 10 during practice, and they made an interception in shorts and a helmet. Whoopee fucking shit. I don't care. It does not matter. Last year, DeMarvin Leal was crowned to be, a monster. You know, I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. 9 times out of 10, it's just a lot of shit. I'll start to give real assessments when I see pads cracking, when I see players actually playing real football in real gear. I don't care about shorts and a helmet. It does not impress me. I would never make a decision off of depth or for a depth chart if I was a coach off football and shorts and a helmet. No, I would wait to see, what they do with real equipment on and real live action. That's what I would be waiting to see, no doubt about it. The Packers set the NFL record for the most players on the injured reserve for a Super Bowl champion when they beat us. A bunch of their starters were out for that Super Bowl. Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty good statistic. I still believe that Marquise Pouncey played a huge role on that team that year, and his absence was massive for the Steelers anyway. Regardless, I don't know exactly. Robert gave some good information there. I didn't know that many were out for the Packers, but I truly believe the Steelers would have been definitely a different team offensively if they had Marquise. I'm not saying they win the game, but I believe it was definitely a definite problem for the Steelers not having their cornerstone anchor of the offensive line. Cap 10, I think the Bengals got a new head coach. They would be dangerous. If the Bengals got a new head coach, they would be dangerous. Taylor doesn't seem like a very good leader from what I've seen. I don't know enough about him. I think they've been fairly successful. I think that the Bengals' major issue, if I look at that franchise as a whole, I think their major issue is they don't know how to be well rounded, and that's the issue. They'll focus on having stunner offense, and they'll let the defense just become shit. And I think that that's the issue there. I think if they focused on, we don't need 17 superstar, highest paid guys on offense, and we'll go out and we'll make that defense a little bit better. We'll sacrifice one or two of those superstars for to make it a well-rounded unit. I think maybe that would better serve them. But we have to give them credit too. They've been a team that's played in a Super Bowl recently. It wasn't very long ago that they were playing the Rams in a Super Bowl. So the Steelers haven't done that. The Ravens haven't done that. So the Browns, of course, they haven't done that. But so we have to give the Bengals credit there, and that was under their head coach. So I don't know about that, and I mean, you may be right, but I just don't think that the head coach is the issue. I think it's a lot to do with a more broader brush or more broader organizational picture in terms of issues that are wrong with their franchise. Robert Road, I think we would beat the Packers that Super Bowl. I thought we would beat the Packers that Super Bowl. I had a bet the Steelers at 22-1 at the start of that season. Damn, dude, that would have been good payout, bro. You'd have made some bread. Harmon, yep, pick six cause of no Pouncey. Mendenhall arm in the air to force the fumble, and I think Harrison Wimpy is Wimpy. I don't know. Packers had a lot of injuries. Yeah, I don't remember everything they had, but oh, you talking about James Harrison being gimpy? Yeah, I think there was a lot of factors, but I think the two biggest ones was that fumble and Pouncey being out for the Steelers. Now the Packers, again, I don't remember enough about them. Douglas Ball in the house. What's up, my friend? He says, Jay, what's up, buddy? Capable offense and great defense equals a great year. Can't wait. I'm excited, man. Definitely excited. No doubt about it. Definitely excited. I'm super pumped about it. I should block this out so you can't see where I got the coffee from. I'm on a roll today. That's my second Starbucks. Whoo, shit. I got to slow my roll, boys and girls. Slow my roll. All right, guys, make sure you're putting your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat here on Mic Drop Sports. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Subscribe to the channel. I got some flack. I posted a video that somebody had posted, and I couldn't figure out how to like share it, so I just copied the video and reposted it. Somebody's like, "Quit stealing, dude! I'm just sharing it. I never claimed I made the video." People get crazy, dude. It's like I couldn't figure out how to share it onto my YouTube, so I just freaking copied it and put it out there. I couldn't figure out how to share it onto my TikTok. So damn, sorry if I offended you. It was a stupid short. I would never like copy a bunch of freaking big long content, but a short that gets people fired up and was good. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll definitely do it. So yeah, my shit's been copied before. I'd never get mad about that. Like, not a short, not a short. If it was like some big, long, hour piece of content that I put a lot of work into, I'd be pissed off, no doubt about it. But I had somebody make some shitty comment. I'm like, bro, relax, man. I'll take it down for all I care. It don't matter to me. Could care less. All right, guys, we're gonna start wrapping it up. I think we're gonna go live again tomorrow. Get back into a little bit of a rhythm. Again, I have youth football on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Mondays too. Sorry, I forgot about that. So it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday off for right now, before the game starts. So I'm gonna figure out whether I should go live early or go live later in the evening. Last year we went live when I get back from football because it starts to get darker again early, so we'll wrap up. We won't be practicing until 8. We'll start winding down about 7:30. 7:15, 7:30 time frame. So we'll see. We'll see. We might start out at about 8:15, going live for 45 minutes every night, and then go back down to like 7:30 time frame when I get back from football. But we'll figure it out, and lives will be starting every day here soon. I appreciate everybody that joined us for our first live in about a week. So we appreciate that. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh? Good to see you. Good to see you. Miss Pete is in the building. Yeah, I appreciate you guys diving in with me. If you haven't watched now, you can watch it once it uploads. I don't think it takes long streaming from these platforms. I think it uploads pretty quick. So, yeah, thank you very much. I truly, truly appreciate all the support. Definitely. And definitely we'll be back again tomorrow, I believe. I believe tomorrow is just a good day to do it. If we're not doing nothing as a family, my wife's on vacation and stuff, so we might end up doing something. So until then, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.